Remember, when you're pulling square, always read the same side of the tape measure. It does make a difference. You got 145 and an eighth. $1.45. Now comes the point where you have to make the decision. Do you want to live with that 1/8 of an inch out of square, or do you want to just send it? And what is that 1/8 of an inch? I guess what's that 1/8 of an inch going to affect down the line? So if I leave this an 1/8 of an inch out of square, and I go to move it, square it up against the piece outside that's nice and square, that's going to throw the alignment of the trailer off. It's not going to be a lot. It may not even be noticeable. You may never notice that that thing's an 1/8 of an inch out of square. But on the other hand, if I don't correct it now, and I just say, oh, it's good enough, I may get to that other point and see that, yeah, that 1/8 of an inch means a lot. Now that's an 1/8 of an inch over 11 feet. Divide that by 2, it's really only a 1/16 of an inch out. But we're going to try to get it, I mean, we might as well. We're right here. We might as well just try to get it where it needs to be right now. That would probably be the correct and proper thing to do. Well, now I got to measure again. So to get this measurement how I want it, I want this thing to go this way to shorten that up. So I don't know if you can see that in the camera, but so I want this side right here to go backwards just a little bit. When I say just a little bit, it doesn't take much when you're only off that small amount. And we moved it just a tiny. In my luck, it's always too much. You know, that's, I always go over, it seems. We are right there. Well, it's a low progress night, but we're getting back into the spirit of the vlog style, just like we did with the other timber frames. So pretty much if we're working on it, we're going to be filming it no matter how short or how long it is. So this will just be a quick update, but I thought right now would be a really good time to discuss what the plan is for the addition, what we're doing, and all that good stuff. So first off, I said earlier, this is going to be a 20 by 28 addition off the back of our house. It's going to be 16 by 20 of it will be a timber frame. Now, in this addition, the timber frame itself is not so much for structural support as it is for the aesthetics of it, and I just love timbers. I love working with them. I like cutting them. I like milling them. I like everything about it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing it. It's also another opportunity to share some of the information that we may have missed throughout the Big Timber Frame vlog series. If you are new to the channel, check that out. There's almost 300 videos in there explaining timber framing in depth and in detail. We have better camera equipment this time. We have better audio equipment. So I'll be able to show and explain things much better than we used to do with the old cell phone days on the channel. I'm really looking forward to that, because watching through some of the old videos to see what we've covered, to see what we've missed, there's a lot of stuff that could have been covered better. If you guys could have seen what I was doing a little better, it might have been clear in the explanations. So 16 by 20 of it will be the timber frame. That'll be the actual master bedroom. So unfortunately, with our building codes here, I need to eliminate the half bath in the house to accommodate for the master bathroom, and I have to eliminate one of the bedrooms to account for another bedroom adding on, because otherwise my town will make me dig up my septic and put a bigger tank in, as if it's any of their business how many times I have to get my septic tank pumped. Boy, that shit just pisses me off. Maybe it's a good time to never mind. I'll keep my opinions to myself on a lot of things here, just because we'll get into trouble. But so that's why we're going that route. Now, that office the one small bedroom that we're turning into an office, we'll see what happens to that after all the inspections are done. But that's the big reason. So I get so many questions on building codes for timbered structures and things like that. Everything depends on your town and your county and your state. It's different all over the world. You go to some places in Vermont and there are no building codes. You go to some places in Alaska, no building codes. New York State, they have a code for everything, they have a fee for everything, and they have a fine for everything. So here, unfortunately, you really have to cover your ass in a big way, and we try to do that. But so there's going to end up being an 8 by 10 bathroom, master bath in there. So it'll be, tub, shower, toilet, all that good stuff, sink. There's going to be an 8 by 10 very private little secluded back porch just for the boss lady and I. No children. We have 3 of them. We need our place for escape. This is also going to add on a good sized master closet, and we're going to have another closet in a little hallway, which a lot of this will become apparent as we go. I've actually done a 3D model on Google SketchUp, or it's not Google SketchUp, on SketchUp. I did a model on SketchUp, so I have my materials list all ready to go. This is the first time I've ever really built anything and come up with a plan. As we get into actually building this thing, we're going to share those plans with you guys, and you guys be able to see what we're doing. It's also going to be on a crawl space because we have to match up the foundation style that the house is on now. So when I built the house, I was 25 years old and I built the house, and we built that on a crawl space on a monolithic slab, kind of the same style that we did here with the barn, and then we come up with a crawl space from there. So to meet code here, I have to pin the slabs together. They'll just rebar. We have to put the bonding agent on the existing slabs when we pour concrete. They say you're trying to, in essence, make your foundations act as one. So the new tying into the old, when one shifts, they want the other to be able to shift. Unfortunately, that's perfect world stuff, and we don't usually have perfect world stuff here. Some years we could have frost up to 4 or 5 feet deep. Other years we'll only have it a foot. It's just all over the place. So there's always a lot of movement here and there. Now, that's one reason I do like monolithic slabs. In my experience, as long as you prepare the base really well, they hold up just fine. Even this slab out here sat open to the elements for 4 years while we were building this structure that we're in right now. And minimal cracking, and I probably wouldn't even have that if I'd put relief cuts in the floor. But so the floor is going to be insulated. I'm debating on right now, I do have a small wall hung boiler that I could either run in-floor heat, but I'm also strongly considering putting ductless splits in that are also heat pumps, and a lot of times you could still get heat out of those things down to about 5 degrees. Once you get down below about 5 degrees with the 410A refrigerant, you start losing efficiency quite a bit, and it's going to run a lot more than it needs to. Now, that's not saying it won't put heat. They're advertising some of them at putting heat out at 10 below zero. So for those of you who don't know refrigeration, that's what I do for a living, that and boilers. 410A refrigerant still flashes off at 40 degrees below zero. That's how you're able to get modern heat pumps to actually heat your house in northern climates. That said, it's going to be really odd for me not to have a space in my house that's not heated by the coal or the wood. The reason we need an extra heating option in there is simply because I don't believe the coal stove is going to reach into that space in the house, because it's going to be there's going to be a small hallway, there's going to be a door. So you guys know the deal. If you ever want to be able to close the door to your bedroom, for obvious reasons, you need to have some kind of a heat source. Kind of hard to get the old lady in the mood if she's freezing her ass off. So I gotta make things comfortable. It's in my self-interest to do so. But so the plan here is wait for another vehicle. They all like to cut their exhaust off around here. I don't get it. But the plan is the first thing we're doing is cutting all of our timber. That's the first thing. So the timber's for the timber frame portion, all the wall studs. I may even, with the price of plywood, I may even mill up the sheathing. It's really old school and it's not ideal, but I may do so. That's going to be first. All of that is going to be first. Probably one of the first things that we're going to hit is probably going to be things like the wall and ceiling boards. So we're going to do the walls and shiplap that we're going to make ourselves, and we're going to do the ceilings, I'm hoping, in tongue and groove, and I may end up making that myself. Now, that said, we're dealing with green lumber when it's milled. So the reason I want to cut this stuff first is so that stuff has a lot of time to dry out. You guys know how long it takes me to build anything, and a lot of that is just a huge workload and not having all the time I need to do it. The big difference between this upcoming project and the last major project on this channel is I won't be waiting for logs 6 or 8 months at a time. Like I said before, this building probably should have taken me about 1.5 years, but I spent so much time waiting for materials that it held me up really bad until I got lucky enough to where I could cut timber myself and go pick the trees. Well, this is the same situation. I'll be able to go where we're going and I can pick whatever trees I want. And like I said, on 2,000 acres, it's going to be awesome. I cannot wait. So we won't be waiting for any lumber. Also in this project, we're going to be putting a steel roof on the entire house. Now, I live in a wind tunnel. You guys know that, been watching a while. The wind whips through here off the end of Lake Ontario. It friggin' whips all the time. You goofy Canadian shits across the river there. I love you guys, but quit sending me your cold nastiness. I'm sick of it, man. Sick of it. So we get the winds from there. With that heavy wind all the time, the way my house is oriented, I'm constantly replacing shingles. If you pay attention close to the videos, you'll see mismatched shingles all over that roof. That's how often they blow off. So I'm sick of dealing with that. So we're definitely going with metal. Now, one end of the house, the end that we're adding on to, actually has a lower roof by about 7 inches than the larger part of our house. I don't know why I built it like that. I built a sunken living room, and I like the sunken room. It's only sunk 1 course of block, so it's only like 8 inches. But I made a mistake when I built the house. I should have made it all one level. I mean, you're cutting your risks for roof leaks down substantially. Now, honestly, we've never had any roof leaks where the 2 pieces meet because we did it right when I built it. But So we're going to be raising that roof to match the entire roof line of the house unless I get really lazy. The part that's going to suck is I have to cut the eaves off of the house on the lower end. Fortunately, it's only 20 feet worth on each side, but I have to cut the eaves off to raise it, and I'm going to have to splice in siding and all that good stuff. So that's the plan with that kind of thing. And so we're going to try to be a little more organized about this one. So basically try to keep our steps. The main thing starting out is getting our building material. I'm going to end up filling up the first floor of this barn with building material for this project. And that is really exciting for me in one way because I'm not going to have to worry about the situation we had here. You guys see all the weathered timbers in here. I like it in the barn. It's kind of, you feel like you're working in an old-time barn when you walk in here and you see the gray weathered timbers. I don't want that in the house. I kind of want it fresh looking. Of course, we're probably going to be burning the timbers, so I guess it won't really be fresh looking, but the rest of the wood will be. It won't be all gray and weathered, so that's the benefit of being able to put it in here. But the other problem with that is I'm going to have no room to do anything in here. We're probably going to end up moving a bunch of stuff into the forge area, so that's going to put any forging projects on hold even further, but it's as good a spot as any to stage the building material. The timbers, we're going to end up cutting our timber frame right where I'm working on the sawmill trailer right now. It's going to be just like the old days, except for this time, we're going to have a roof overhead. Wow, it gives me the warm and fuzzies. Of course, we'll be working out there in the elements, but you guys know how that goes. So anyway, that's the plan. That's where we're going. I know this is a chatty video, and some of you hate chatty videos, but find another channel because we like to talk. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I hope you guys get some information and can kind of visualize where we're heading with all this. And I can't wait. It's go time now. I only have so many months of good weather. We'll get maybe 4 or 5 months of decent weather. So we really have to get after it. So anyway, have a good night, everybody, and I'll catch you on the next one.